I'm Sahana, and I'm the sales manager at Osome. Uh, Thank you for joining the webinar. Let's go through the agenda first. You can take a few seconds to look at the agenda. It's mainly about why entrepreneurs choose to incorporate their companies in Singapore, the advantages, and the benefits. So just go through the agenda. Okay, so first point is why choose Singapore? It's a great place to live in, and that's one of the main reasons. With regard to business, it's extremely easy to do business in Singapore. The regulatory requirements are minimal and it's business friendly, it's pro business. The tax rates here is comparatively low. And a lot of tax incentives for new entrepreneurs as well. We'll go through that in a bit. Uh, Solid laws and a strong legal system, smart people, so you get great workforce here, and absolutely world class infrastructure, stable and pro business, like I said, and yes, strategically located. Next screen. So the Singapore tax system, we'll just go through the taxes here. We all know about the lower tax rates in Singapore. The corporate tax rate here is 17%, and honestly, it can get much lower than that. There are times when it can go up to the first 100,000 can go up to 4.25% and 8% yearly. So there are many benefits for startups. And Singapore has a one-tier tax system, um, not unlike US or India, where you pay corporate taxes and then pay taxes on dividends as well. In Singapore, it's just the corporate taxes, and there are no taxes on dividends. It's simple. The tax rules here are really simple, and like I said, you get a lot of incentives as a new entrepreneur. The main types of taxes here, we're just covering the basic ones. It is corporate income tax, personal tax, and goods and services tax. So, goods and services is similar to the value added tax. Corporate tax here, like I said, is 17%, but you can get it even lower with all of the startup incentives. In fact, the first 3 years, a tax resident company will pay 4.25% on a major part of its profits. New startups can get a major tax break, and all companies get a partial tax exemption even after the first 3 years. Loads of incentives for R&D specific sectors and expanding internationally. Personal income tax here as is competitive as well. You start with 0% on the first 20,000, and then the highest it can go is 24% for an income of over 1 million. So comparatively lower, like I said. And you're usually a tax resident if you are in Singapore for 183 days or more. You can get some tax breaks for things like having a spouse and kids, or if you support your elderly parents, etc. There are a lot of incentives. Goods and services tax, or VAT, is 9%. And if your business makes over 1 million is when you have to register for GST. If not, you do not have to be registered. And also, if your business has mainly supplies to overseas and not local sales, there are chances that you don't need to be registered for GST even if your revenue exceeds 1 million. Next screen. So, the most interesting part, how do you move as a foreigner to Singapore and start your business? Firstly, there are two options, the Entree Pass and the Employment Pass. Entree Pass is something you get before you start the business. It's mainly applicable for serial entrepreneurs. If you already have a successful business that's running in a different country and you want to expand to Singapore, then you can apply for an Entree Pass. You are an experienced investor who wants to operate a business in Singapore and it is venture backed, or an innovator who owns intellectual property. The second option is after you incorporate a company, you can apply for an employment pass. So you are going to, the company will hire you as an employee, and you pay yourself a salary of a minimum of 6,000. Again, it can depend, it changes with age and with your experience, etc. And good qualifications and work experience definitely help. You'll need to deposit at least 12 months of your salary that you've declared in the company's bank account. This is to ensure that the business has enough money to pay yourself. And approval of employment pass can take about 3 to 6 months. Singray will take you through the processes and all the procedures for setting up a company in Singapore. He's a sales consultant, and he'll help you with this. Thank you.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Singray. I'm the senior consultant here at Osome. Really nice and happy to be hosting everybody here today. Okay, so I do notice that some questions were asked earlier on, and we promise we'll get to that later on at the end of this. So do bear with us for the time being. Okay, now moving on to how the different types of companies that we have in Singapore. What you see on screen here, these are the main types of companies, and at Osome we mainly support the private limited company. Okay, so moving on. The private limited company, or what you see here, the PTE Ltd, is the most common type of company. And of course, it's the one that's suitable for if, let's say, you're a foreigner and you're intending to start a company in Singapore. With the private limited structure, it offers limited liability to its shareholders as compared to, let's say, the sole proprietorship. It's a separate legal entity, so the company, it's an entity itself, separate from the shareholders themselves. Okay, for this structure, the private limited company can have either you can start with even just one person as the sole shareholder of the company, or you can have actually up to 50 shareholders. Okay, requirement wise, to have a private limited company in Singapore, you need at least one local director. So that could be a Singaporean, or it could be a permanent resident, or somebody on an employment pass as well. Okay, so one company secretary as well, a registered office address, and the minimum paid up capital can start as low as just $1. Okay, so looking at how to set up a private limited company with Osome. So first of all, of course, we check whether the company name that you would like is available. Okay. Next up, what we do is we appoint a registered filing agent and to provide the required information and documents. After you're done with all that, you just have to sign the necessary pre-incorporation documents, and then we'll actually submit it to ACRA. From then on, your company is incorporated. Simple as that. Okay, for audit, it's a good news here in Singapore. So smaller firms, you actually don't need to be audited. The requirements here are that to require an audit, it's either if your revenue crosses $10 million, assets over $10 million, or if you have more than 50 employees, right? So the thing here is, even though you're exempt, you still need to keep, good records and prepare your financial statements, your balance sheets, profit and loss statements, because this is still necessary for, your annual returns filing and your corporate tax filing. Okay, so now, why choose Osome? Okay, so at Osome, we are fully digital. So less admin for you, more control. You focus on growing your business while we focus on all these things that are more cumbersome and troublesome, right? So we are fast, we are smart, we are not just a software. So you're not subscribing to just an accounting software. You actually have experts behind the scenes that are fully supporting you, providing the service for you, ensuring that, all your accounts are done properly and all corporate compliance is adhered to. So we're clear and we are informed, right? Okay, so with our platform, it's the user interface is really clean. The functions are everything that you will need. We don't provide you things that are extra, things that you don't need. So for instance, with the accounting software, you're able to actually create your own invoices and send them. We are able to integrate with many different platforms like Stripe, Shopify, even digital banks like Aspire. You're able to track your deadlines. They'll all be clearly stated on the platform itself for, let's say payroll, tax filings, annual returns filings. So we ensure that you don't miss any deadlines. Um, Everything that you upload in terms of like accounting documents or any other confidential documents, they are all stored securely, and access can be restricted to, let's say, only yourself or people that you want to be able to view all these documents, right? So the best part here is that for us, it's not just a platform available on your computer or your laptop or your desktop. We also have the mobile app available as well. If you need to reach us, we have a chat feature. You will be able to reach our experts directly. So don't worry about having to send emails and then wait multiple days just to get an answer from us. Okay, yep. So it's a AI-enabled software. So as the tagline says, smarter admin starts here. Our tech is smart, but our humans are even sharper. So, we ensure that you don't miss any upcoming deadlines. All filings will be done for you and your company to stay compliant in Singapore. Auto-categorize and reconcile your transactions. As mentioned earlier, we integrate with many different platforms. So if, let's say, you're in the e-commerce business, you'll be happy to find out that, everything is hassle-free when you start it with us. Bookkeeping is unlimited. We don't cap your bookkeeping in terms of transactions. Okay, so you're able to stay connected with mobile access as well. Now, coming to the last part here, if you have very specific questions and you would like to have a consultation with one of our consultants here at Osome, you can just scan this QR code here, and then you can schedule a call directly with our consultants. It's a free consultation, no worries, so no commitment. Don't have to worry about that. Our consultants will just understand your situation. You can ask them any questions you have with regards to like setting up a company. If you have questions regarding taxation or things like that, feel free to schedule the call and our consultants will be happy to take you through. Also, for the first 10 attendees who complete the consultation, you will receive a free 1 month Perplexity Pro subscription with us. So, yep, if you have any questions, just scan the QR code and schedule a call with us. Okay. Okay, so for the questions that are asked, right? I see here, you answer one question.
I did answer this.
Okay. Okay, so does anybody have any question you want to send in now for us to, maybe answer?
Somebody has raised. Okay. See the question.
These-
Okay, Tony, go ahead.
Okay, so there's one question on corporate tax, right? So there is corporate tax, but no tax on dividends, sale of shares, yet tax on salary incomes. Yes, so in Singapore, right, there is corporate tax. Dividends is not taxed in Singapore because dividends are only declared after you pay for corporate tax, right? And yes, there is taxation on salary income, so that's personal income tax. Okay. And yeah, we'll be able to send out the recording to you guys after the call.
Also, I see a question. Okay, also I see a question. If you can start a company from India, yes, you can always start a company remotely from India. All you need is a nominee director who is a local, and we assist. We do provide that service. So it's pretty easy to start a business from India. Do I need to get an EP if I work from overseas? Does this affect the tax resident and permanent establishment risk? So yes, you need to get an if you work from overseas, no, there is no need for an EP. An employment pass is needed only if you want to move to Singapore and be a resident here and work here. And if you move to Singapore on an EP, yes, you will be considered a tax resident here and you will have to pay taxes. Good help with us. What are the questions?
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
I see there are more coming in. Is it?
Okay, there is a question. Does Osome provide bank setup as well? Yes, we do. And we are partnered with Aspire, and it's a digital bank. And we introduce you to the banker, and they will assist with the next steps. So, yes, we do assist with this. Arvin has a question. How much involvement in the company must the nominee director have? Is if it is someone that I can appoint outside of Osun. Hi, Arvind. Yes, you can appoint a local director outside of Osun if you know. But as per the new rules, if it is a nominee director, you should go through CSPs like Osun. And how much involvement? The nominee director is a namesake director who has the risks and responsibilities. He is responsible to ensure that the company is compliant, but he does not participate in the company profits or has any sayings with the operations of the company. But he will monitor and ensure that the company is compliant and carrying out legal businesses by looking into bank statements and see if there are any transactions that are not compliant. Matthew has a question, which is, can I pay myself no salary and take out dividends? Absolutely, yes.
One more? So that's it.
Okay, to add on to Matthew's question, right? If you are not on an EP, yes, you do not have to pay yourself a salary, right? But if you are on an EP, then you have to pay yourself the minimum salary with accordance to the Ministry of Manpower. So that there are like a list of stipulated minimum salary required for you to be on an EP. Okay. Yes, we do provide the virtual office address service as well. Um, Yep, there's one question on jurisdiction, right? No, we do not only provide our service in Singapore, we also cover Hong Kong and the UK. So if you are keen to explore either one of these three jurisdictions, right, just feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and schedule a call with our consultants. We'll be able to share more with you there. Okay. Total cost of setup. Okay, so the total cost of setup depends on whether you are a local or you're a foreigner requiring like the nominee director services. For a local, it starts as low as $600 for the incorporation and the corporate secretary. And then for foreigners that require the nominee director service, our basic packages start at $3,690. Okay, so our prices are actually very transparent and you can look it up on our website as well. Yeah. Okay, just to take one last question, right? There's one question here on can you start a business here in Singapore when you are on a dependent pass? Yes, you can start a business. On the dependent pass, you can apply for a letter of consent. We do provide that service as well. So on the letter of consent, you will be able to appoint yourself as the local director of the company, and then you'll be able to work here legally. Okay. So, yep.
What's one more?
Which?
There's one question from Cornish about, can you incorporate the company first, then apply for EP, say a year later when the company has revenue? Yes, this can be done. In fact, the chances of approval is higher then when you have the money.
Okay, have one question here. I'm a digital creator based outside of Singapore and I run an online education and media business that generates revenue through ads on my blogs. No. So typically, the only if it's an online-based business and you're running it, you just want to incorporate a company in Singapore, but you're providing services overseas, that's fine. The thing about taxation here is it doesn't matter where you provide your services. Now, as long as the invoice is issued from your Singapore entity here and the revenue flows into Singapore, all this revenue is taxable for the corporate tax. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you are just providing services online, overseas, or the services are not even provided in Singapore, as long as the invoice was issued from the Singapore company and the revenue flows in, then yes, you are liable to pay corporate tax.
Okay, one last question.
Okay, as we are running short of time, I'm just gonna take one last question. Sorry we are unable to answer all questions, but if you guys want a clearer one-to-one consultation, please do just scan the QR code and our consultants will be able to hop on a call with you as early as possible, okay?
You're not asking us anything.
Okay, so one last question here. Can you appoint Osome as your company secretary? Yes, we do provide the corporate secretary service. So maybe just to end off, right, the services that we provide, we have the corporate secretary service, we have the registered office address service, we have the nominee director service for foreigners that are intending to start a company here in Singapore. We have the accounting and corporate tax filing service. So to break this down, right, what we cover is your bookkeeping, your management reports, unaudited financial statements, and also corporate tax filing. So it's all in. You don't have to worry about doing anything yourself. Last but not least, if you need payroll services as an add-on, we do have that. Okay, so to understand your business needs better, just make sure to just scan the QR code, hop on a call with our consultants here, and we'll be happy to share further with you. Okay? Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. So again, for the first 10 attendees who complete a consultation with us, you will receive a free 1-month Perplexity Pro subscription. Okay. Only if you sign up for a call through this QR code. Okay. So earlier consultations, they unfortunately don't count. Please scan this QR code if you require a further consultation. Okay. Thank you, everybody, so much for your time today.
Thank you.